In the past, there once existed powerful beings known as Yaksha. The Yakshas are spirits akin to gods, but in this world, Yakshas were also demons. And for demons, their true name is one they are bound by. As such, it is their greatest weakness, as well as their greatest secret. 2,000 years ago, during the Archon War, a certain Yaksha had his true name revealed to an evil god. This Yaksha was called Swiftness, or in their tongue, Alatus. The Yaksha was forced into committing cruel and vile acts upon the people of Liyue, and against other gods during the Archon War. The Yaksha quickly became a legend, and those who witness the Yaksha in battle often do not survive the ordeal. One is said to be considered extremely lucky in order to see the Yaksha unleash his full power and survive its rampage. As much as it pained the Yaksha to commit these vile acts, he was helpless to fight against his evil master. These acts rid him of his gentle nature and forged him into a weapon only meant for slaughter. However, during the height of the Archon War, the Yaksha's master had met with another far more powerful god, known as Morax. The Yaksha was not present during this confrontation, and when he had arrived at the scene, his vile master that he had resented had already been slain. Morax looked upon the Yaksha, who now was but a lost soul, free from servitude, but a weapon without a hand to guide it is but a useless tool. The Yaksha knew nothing else but fighting. Now that his master lay dead, what else is there? This is something he would not be able to explore, however, as though Morax had liberated the Yaksha and acknowledged the hardships the demon had gone through. The Yaksha was still very powerful, and so Morax asked the Yaksha if he would serve him, not with threat of his true name, but freely and with trust. The Yaksha, not knowing how to live his life, agreed. In order to protect the Yaksha from his weakness, Morax spoke with the Yaksha and said, "In the fables of another world, the name Xiao is that of a spirit who encountered great suffering and hardship. He endured much suffering as you have. Use this name from now on." And with that, Xiao was born. Though freed from his previous evil master, he was not free from the war. Morax used the power of the Yakshas to cleanse Liyue of the rest of the gods. Xiao, alongside 4 other Yakshas, known as Bosacius, Indarius, Bonanus, and Menogias, were the most powerful of them. They fought with the demons and other gods alongside Morax for the rest of the Archon War. Centuries of killing, however, takes a toll on the Yaksha. As they absorb the final moments of their victims, the rage and suffering their victims feel before their death seeps into them, slowly corrupting their soul. The Yakshas who only knew of battle would lay low even the gods who descended from Celestia. After the final battle, when there was peace, the Yakshas were bewitched by shadows, who corrupted them into more battle. The Yaksha would turn against each other and slaughter their own. Xiao would fight against this darkness, not because he was corrupted himself, but because he yearns to fulfill his new purpose granted to him by Morax, to defend Liyue. Xiao would fight from dusk till dawn, emerging victorious by a mere hair. He and Bosacius alone would survive the onslaught. However, Bosacius was tired and wished to end his struggle. Bosacius would then depart from the world. The reed fields had been sliced to ribbons in the fighting. Xiao retrieved his spear and began his trek home. Long exhausted, the shadows he had destroyed attempted to corrupt him. Xiao felt divine hatred that tainted his body. Limitless hate flooded his senses. He fell to the ground in agony, feeling that he would succumb to this darkness and intense hate, feeling all hope slipping away. But it suddenly stopped. The pain, the hatred, all of it vanished without warning. All that remained was the sound of a flute, a clear, lovely sound that came from over the mountains and rivers, carried by 1,000 winds. The flute's sound continued until the light of dawn. brought with it the startled flight of distant birds. The flute's sound had protected Xiao, giving him a moment's peace. Although Xiao was curious as to where the sound came from, he did not pursue the matter, for he already knew that only few beings could achieve such sound and power from a mere flute. He knew that the sound came from one of the 7 gods who took the title of Archon. Thus Xiao was saved from his corruption, but for how long? Morax created powerful painkillers for Xiao to use in order to stave away the corruption, and in turn, as the only remaining Yaksha, Xiao would once again vow to protect Liyue until his last. Though they had won the Archon War, the gods they defeated were immensely powerful and full of resentment. The fallen gods would summon countless manifestations of their vengeful remnant souls, but for every one summoned, Xiao would be there to slay. But in doing so, these souls would fracture, and fragments of their hatred would continue to taint Xiao's own soul. Yet Xiao himself does not ever feel any hatred, for no grudge can last 1,000 years. Thus he continues his vigil to defend Liyue even to this day. Liyue's rulers had become aware of the Yaksha protecting its city. The Qixing would even provide him support in his quest to defend Liyue, and they referred to him in his millennia-long experience as the bane of all evil. He is now known as the Vigilant Yaksha, the conqueror of demons, one of the mighty and illuminated Adepti.